Hey guys and girls of World of Warcraft, this is Starwind here, bringing you a part of the How to Play series, and today it's going to be the Arms Warrior. This will get you ready for Mists of Pandaria, so when patch 5.0 releases you'll know exactly how to start playing your character and how to get into it. I will do a full guide on the Warrior for 5.0, but this is just how to get straight in and get playing. I'll do updates on this as the beta changes, so keep your eye out for them all the time. They'll be happening a lot. I'm going to go over a lot of things today: stances, talents, buffs. First of all, we'll do the core abilities. First thing is charge. You use it to close the distance between you and your target, so we're all familiar with that. Colossal smash, you're going to be hitting that as much as you can. It increases damage and does a lot of damage. Mortal strike is our main damage and rage generator. Overpower is a strong attack. And slam has become part of our main rotation now. It's a big thing, it's an instant cast, it costs 30 rage. And execute, you hit it as much as you can once you get below 20% health on the enemy. So the next thing we're going to go over is the main things that have changed for the Warrior between 4.3 and 5.0, and what we have to keep our eyes out for mainly. So the first thing we're going to look at is talents. Many talents have become specialization spells. Stances, the Warrior abilities no longer require specific stances anymore. You can use any ability with any stance, which is good. Rage has changed a lot. It's generated now by special attacks and consumed by. So for things like heroic strike, you're only going to use it when you can have more rage than you can actually spend at a time. Rend is now called Deep Wounds. It's automatically applied and it won't appear in your spellbook. This is a big thing for people. A lot of Arms Warriors aren't happy with this. I am. It was automatically reapplied anyway the whole time, so the initial proc wasn't there anymore. So we'll see what happens with that. For me, I find it far better in the rotation. You'll see when we do our rotations and a couple of attacks just what it's like. I'm really happy with it. It seems to have worked out very well. I think they've done a good thing with it. Next of all, we'll go over the stances though. First thing's battle stance. This is the one we're going to use. Generates high rage from normal melee attacks. I think anyone doing PvE, this is what this is for. The next one's our tanking one, defensive stance. It reduces damage by 15% and reduces chance of being critically hit. We're not going to really use it. And Berserker stance is more of a PvP thing now. It generates rage from normal melee attacks and some rage from damage taken. So that's really going to be for PvP, I think, more so than PvE. So everyone's going to be using the battle stance. It's an important one to go over. I think it's going to be used a lot. So the next thing we're going to go over are the talents that are available to us. And first of all, we'll start with our specialization of talents. So it's a battle-hardened master of two-handed weapons using mobility and overpowering attacks to strike his opponent down. Core abilities: Mortal Strike, Overpower, Slam, Colossal Smash. We're familiar with them all. We'll show you how to work in the rotation in a bit. So now we're going to go over the talent trees. They're completely different. There's far less in them. It makes it far easier to pick what you want. So we'll pick it for arms on this one. We're going to go through them. There's lots of them there. In the main thing I do on the Warrior, you'll get to see all the different talents. So you can go through that at your own leisure. I'm just going to show you the ones that are for arms. The first one's Juggernaut. It used to be an arms one. It's a big one. You can charge every 12 seconds instead of every 20. I really like this ability. I use it a lot. The next one was Impending Victory. Instantly attack the target, causing 6,965 damage and healing you for 10% of your maximum health. And if you kill someone, you get 20% of your maximum health on the next strike with Impending Victory, and it resets it. So this is a brilliant one. Really like this. Definitely add it. Better than the other two that are there, that's for sure. So level 45, Disrupting Shout. It interrupts all spell casting within 10 yards and prevents any spell in that class from being cast for 4 seconds. Brilliant in a raid situation. On our main arms one, Bladestorm, you have to pick this. Bladestorm, it attacks everyone in an area, sweeping around. It does 75% weapon damage for 8 seconds. During the Bladestorm, you can continue your dodge, block, parry, all that, and become immune to movement impairing effects and loss of control effects. So it's a brilliant attack. You have to have it as Arms Warrior. No way you're not going to have it. I picked Vigilance on the next one for 75. I think if you're in a raid and you can protect the healer with Vigilance, it's brilliant. And also it puts you in Berserk. So you're going to be Berserk for 6 seconds, gaining back your rage by a hefty amount, and in a raid situation this will make you very valuable because you can protect the healer and do more damage by protecting that healer. Great thing to have. The last one you're going to pick at level 90 will be Avatar. You transform into an unstoppable Colossus for 20 seconds, increasing your damage that you deal by 20% and causing your attacks to generate 50% extra rage. More rage, more damage. What more can you ask for? And it's going to look awesome when you turn into it. So brilliant stuff to have. The next thing we're going to go over is the glyphs. Kinda unhappy with these. I liked having Prime, Major, Minor. Now they got rid of Primes. Major don't do that much and Minor do nothing. They're just for looks. But we'll go over the ones I found the most valuable to me when playing the game. So the first one was the Glyph of Overpower. When Cleave hits, it increases the damage of your next Overpower by 10%. So in an AoE situation this is very handy. It gives you a bit more damage. It's good to have more damage with the glyphs, so that's the one I picked for that. The next one was the Glyph of Colossus Smash. Your Colossus Smash also applies a Sunder Armor effect to your target. I always had this on my old one in Cataclysm. Really like it. When you get 3, you're really hitting hard with the Sunder and Armor. So it's good to have. It helps out, especially with damage. Next one's Glyph of Mortal Strike. When your Mortal Strike is affecting a target, healing effects on you are increased by 10%. So that's really good. Healing up even more. The minor ones don't really matter. We've Mystic Shout, just one that makes you raise in the air when you battle shout and stuff. Enduring Victory doesn't really do anything either. Just makes you get bigger when you hit stuff and with Victory Rush and that. They're just all kind of lightning from the Thunder one. There's not much to them. They don't do anything. There's a Battle Shout one. Just kind of nice visual things is all they do. Next thing we'll just go over is the buffs. The Battle Shout increases attack power of all your party members on you by 10%, and it lasts 5 minutes now, so that's a big one. Next thing I want to go over is spells and arms specialization spells mainly. So that's the first thing I'm going to go into. So we're going to start off, we'll look at Colossal Smash. So smash the target for 175% weapon damage, plus 420, and weakens their defenses, allowing your attacks to entirely bypass 100% of their armor for 6 seconds, and it causes physical vulnerability effect on the target. So it causes weakened armor and physical vulnerability, weakens the armor of the target by 4% for 30 seconds. That's actually Sunder Armor, just called weakened armor now. So that's the only change they have there. Diabetic Sword increases your parry chance by 100% and reduces any other damage. So it's just a save more than anything else. Mortal Strike, a vicious strike that deals 150% weapon damage plus 2084 and causes mortal wounds on the target. This is the thing that people are not happy about, is these mortal wounds. It's the new rend. It seems to work okay. Overpower, instantly overpowers the enemy, causing 120% weapon damage, cannot be blocked, dodged or parried. Only usable after a target dodges or when activated by Taste of Blood. So this actually is a big one. You're going to be hitting that a lot in your rotation, so yeah. The next look at Slam. Slam's an instant cast, so that's a big thing. It costs 30 rage. It's going to become a major part of a rotation, I believe it or not. Sweeping Strikes just hits a nearby target, whatever you're hitting the first target with. The next one we'll look at is just Whirlwind. Whirlwind attack causing 85% damage to all targets within 8 yards. So now we can use that at last. So that's in the arms field at the moment. Juggernaut, charge every 12 seconds instead of every 20. Big one, as I said, get that. Seasoned Soldier, your weapon's physical damage is increased by 20% with 2-handers. Blood and Thunder, your Thunderclap now also applies Deep Wounds, big one. Deep Wounds, your Mortal Strike, Blood Strike, and Devastate cause the target to bleed for 17,450 per second, so that's a massive one. Sudden Death, your melee hits have a 6% chance of resetting the cooldown on Colossal Smash, which you want. And Taste of Blood, you have a 100% chance for Mortal Strike to enable the use of Overpower, and a 30% chance for Overpower to enable the use of Initial Overpower, so that's really good, and it stacks up to 5 times. It's brilliant. It does 30% extra damage for each Overpower, and stacking 5 times, really, really good. So definitely advise using that when you're playing. The next one on your way to level 90 will be at 87 is Skull Banner. You throw down a banner, and it increases the critical damage by your party or raid within 30 yards for 20%, and it lasts 10 seconds. So that's going to be a massive one. We're going to use that a lot. I'll just show you the Battle Shout thing again. It increases attack power by 10% for everyone within the party or raid, and lasts 5 minutes now instead of the 2, so that's brilliant as well. That was definitely needed. It generates 20 rage. Good one to start off with. So we'll go into the cooldowns. First is Recklessness. Grants 50% additional critical hit, but can also cause 20% more damage to yourself. But because you'll be doing damage, you're not taking it, that's okay. We can live with that. Next one's Berserker Rage, gain back rage really quickly, and Deadly Cam, 3 heroic strikes or cleaves cause 10 rage less, so that's a good one as well. The next thing is Pummel. Pummel will allow you to interrupt spellcasting. That's going to be big on bosses, especially when people need to interrupt and you're right in there having the ability to interrupt. Make sure you're using Pummel a lot because you're going to need to, and you'll be expected within raids as well to actually hit Pummel. So next we'll go over our saves. The first one of them is our Impending Victory. Instantly attack the target with 7,661 damage and healing you for 10%. and you get 20% if you kill someone and hit another target, and it refreshes it on a kill. So brilliant use of that. Next one's Die by the Sword. Increases your parry chance by 100% and reduces damage taken by 20% for 8 seconds. Brilliant. And Rallying Cry temporarily gives 20% of maximum health to all party and raid members for 10 seconds. Absolutely brilliant. So next we're going to go into the rotation. I'm just going to zoom in a little. Let you see the screen a little bit closer so you can see the rotation up nice and close and in your face. So now we're in a bit closer, we'll talk about the rotations. There's two main rotations that people are going to use when this starts off. The first one I think will be the one that people use the most, so let's initiate Battle Shout there. The first one is going to be Mortal Strike, Colossus Smash, Overpower, and Slam. And then Heroic Strike if you have any extra rage that you've built up, and then Execute whenever you can when they're below 20%. So that's going to be the main one. I think everyone's going to use that a lot. I think it's going to be, I suppose, used straight off the bat. That'll be the one people go for. I think that's what Blizzard are going for in the rotation that they're looking for. But there has been a bit of maths done behind it, and there's a second rotation that people are talking about at the moment. It's Mortal Strike, then Overpower, then Colossal Smash, and then Overpower, and then Heroic Strike. But if Overpower hasn't procced, you don't do that, you hit Slam. So it'll be Mortal Strike, Overpower, Colossal Strike, and then Slam. So this only works if Overpower procs the second time. So you're dependent on it proccing a second time, and an Overpower and Heroic Strike will give more damage output than Slam. But we're going to work with this rotation, I think, for when it starts off for me. I'm going to start off with this. It seems to be the best from what I can see. We'll also just look at the AoE abilities. So we've got Cleave and Sweeping Strikes and Whirlwind and Thunderclap and Bladestorm. So just use them whatever way you feel comfortable. I'll get more of a proper rotation out for AoE when it releases, but for the moment just use them whatever way you feel comfortable. It's entirely up to yourself. The Cleave has that glyph now, so you can use Cleave a lot more when you're doing AoE, so it's good to use. So now I'm just going to take a look at both rotations, what they look like. I'll pull the screen back out and I'll show you the rotation on the actual training dummy, and I'll show you the rotation on a mob in the new area, so you get a look at both. So I'll just pull the screen back out, and once it's back out we'll have a quick look at what it looks like on the training dummy and our rage generation as well. So now we're back, we'll have a quick look at the main rotation on the training dummy just to see what it looks like and see what the rage generation is like. So we'll just jump on in there. Straight in, Mortal Strike, Colossus Smash, Overpower, slamming it, and then back to Mortal Strike and Overpower. And Overpower procs, you keep hitting Overpower every time it procs before you hit a slam. And so you can see the rage is pretty high. Never rage starved in this rotation, it works really well. Hitting the Heroic Strike the odd time there, just when I need it. But it looks pretty good so far. Lots of damage coming out, lots of high hits, lots of crits. I've trees under or weaken things up all the time. Everything's running really nice. So this does appear to be a lovely rotation. Just full rage a lot. So I'm going to be hitting the Heroic Strike a lot by the look of it. Yeah, so that was the full rotation. It looks pretty good. We'll try it out now on an actual mob and see how it fares on a mob. See what you think of it on that. So we'll just swap over and go to a Mr. Pandaria area. Spoiler if you don't want to see them, but we're going to go there now. So here we are in the initial area. We're just going to attack one of the spiders that we see here. Spiders. And we'll jump straight into them. See how quickly it goes down and how much health stays. So it's going down pretty quick, especially for level 85 in a brand new area. Some nice high hits there, 48,000, pretty good. And he went down really quick. No damage to me and still looking pretty good. So that went really well. So we'll just pop back and do the other rotation on the training dummy now. So now we're back at the training dummy. We're just going to give this second rotation I was talking about a go. Mathematically on paper it does work out the better of the two, but I didn't like the rotation as much to use as I did the other one. So unfortunately the add-ons aren't available yet in the actual beta. They're still coming up as unavailable, so hopefully when they do become available we'll be able to use them and see what they're like. On the training dummy it went pretty well. Now it has to be that you got a Mortal Strike, Overpower, Colossal Smash, and Overpower has to proc a second time so you can use Heroic Strike instead of Slam. But if it doesn't proc, you hit Slam instead. So that's the way the rotation works. So it's Mortal Strike, Overpower, and then Colossal Smash, always that, and then if Overpower has procced again for the second time, which it usually does, you hit Heroic Strike. If not, you go with Slam. So that's the order that it takes, and in that preference. So we'll just go to a mob back in the Mr. Pandaria area and see how it fares out compared to the other rotation against an enemy. I think in terms of survivability it won't be as good, but we'll see how it works. In the raids and dungeons it'll probably work out better to use this rotation if it's done to a T perfectly. So now we're back in the Mr. Pandaria area. We'll just check out how it works against another of these spider things to see what survivability is like and how it was to use the rotation against an actual mob. Straight on with the Overpower, Claw Smash. Overpower proc straight away a second time, and then Heroic Strike. So it does seem to proc a lot. You do seem to be able to hit it quite often. I took a wee bit of damage that time, but it worked fairly well. If I can imagine in a raid situation you'd get great DPS out of this. So just to put an end note on this, this seemed to go really well. I really enjoyed playing the Arms Warrior again. They've done a good job with them, I have to say. Taking out Rend was a good idea. It's the only real change in the rotation as well. You have pretty much everything you need now just to pick up the Arms Warrior again and play it out through Mr. Pandaria, if it stays the way it is at the moment. I think we're getting pretty close to the end of the beta, so hopefully this will be how it ends up playing it. But I've really enjoyed it. Any updates that happen along the way, I'll let you know and I'll tell you. So keep your eye out for more videos on the Arms Warrior, and there'll be plenty more videos on other classes on the way. Hope you enjoyed. Have a good one. Till next time, see you around the Cape of the Cataclysm.